Yo, what's up, guys? In today's video, there's going to be a bunch of news and rumors about the Chicago Bulls, just coaching staff and just medical staff, player development staff, and Jim Boylen. Recently there's been kind of, I'd say, pretty big news. I mean, it could be big or small, it just depends how you look at it. But according to Daniel Greenberg on Twitter, there are members of the current Chicago Bulls coaching staff that are pretty much already looking for other jobs. But of course, there's Jim Boylen, and Jim Boylen still believes he will be coaching the Chicago Bulls next year. So he hasn't been looking for a new job or anything like that like the other folks. But, it's pretty important, I believe. I mean, that's good news. I mean, to my ears at least. I'm sure Jim Boylen isn't happy of it, but it is good that, the rest of the Chicago Bulls coaching staff are looking for new jobs, because that just hints even more that Jim Boylen is more than likely going to get fired whenever the season comes back. And I've never been happier as a Bulls fan. We've completely did a front office overhaul, and it looks like our coaching staff and medical staff and player development staff are also going to get a complete overhaul. So it's just a great time to be a Bulls fan right now. This offseason is going to be a huge one. There's going to be a lot of moves that are coming soon. It's just more of a waiting game right now, like I said in my past video. I mean, the Bulls coaching staff are looking for new jobs. There's a bunch of rumors saying that Jim Boylen's going to get fired. They're just waiting to meet with Jim Boylen and do it the professional way. And I guess Arcidiacono is really good friends, or he really likes Kris Fleming. He's our assistant coach. Jim Boylen hired him last offseason. He was the assistant coach of the Brooklyn Nets. And that's why I could see the Bulls, signing Kenny Atkinson. But who knows yet? Like I said, it's all a waiting game. But I guess there has been some rumors that came out saying Fleming purposely stayed out of just coaching and helping out this year. Which, I mean, it kind of bothers me that he didn't really do his job this year. He kind of stayed in the back and let Boylen, do what he had to do. It's not really what an assistant coach is supposed to do. But I guess him doing that is going to save his job more than likely. Because I've heard Kris Fleming is a good, assistant coach. I mean, I've heard that he's a really good player development coach as well. But if he was staying back this year and letting Jim Boylen take control, that bothers me a little bit. But I guess we don't really have much say. So I just hope next year he comes back with a new head coach. Hopefully Kenny Atkinson to reunite them, and hopefully Kris Fleming helps the Bulls next year, because right now it feels like his job is safe because, he let Jim Boylen take over and do all the dumb mistakes, and he really just sat behind. I don't know how I feel about that whole topic and situation. It's kind of weird, but I guess Fleming will be more than likely back next year, but we'll wait and see on that, and if any more rumors come out, I'll make sure to update you guys. And speaking of Kris Fleming, like I said, he's probably the one assistant coach that'll most likely stick around. Arcidiacono is a big fan of Fleming's raw honesty regarding the Bulls' current situation and his basketball mind. So it's good to see that, Arcidiacono and Mark Eversley are talking to our current coaching staff, even though, they can't talk to them face to face. And like I said, whenever the season comes back, they of course decide who to keep and fire. And another big topic in today's video, even though, like I said, the Bulls coaching staff are looking for new jobs, Jim Boylen still believes he will be coaching the Bulls next year. And of course, with him still being under contract because the NBA season is currently suspended, he's still the head coach and he's still calling the shots. And today, Jim Boylen himself fired the Bulls' one and only player development staff, which Arcidiacono said that that's crazy talk that one man is doing that whole job. It should be at least 4 or 5. It's a whole, coaching staff, and there's only one guy doing the whole job. That's probably why the Bulls players haven't really developed since 2017, because that's when the Bulls signed Shawn Respert as our, player development coach. But yeah, like I said, it's pretty crazy that Jim Boylen just fired him out of nowhere with, the season not even going on, just suspended. And he was brought into the organization back in 2017 under Fred Hoiberg. And I guess there was some frustration in that for Shawn, who felt his ideas and philosophies weren't always heard, despite several players in the building saying that they had tight relationships with him and appreciating his knowledge of the NBA game. The bigger picture though, it looks like Jim Boylen's trying to save his ass because, I mean, I don't know really why. I mean, Arturis did say, and Mark Eversley, you know, they wondered why Lauri Markkanen regressed so much this season. I mean, you could blame it on Jim Boylen, you could blame it on injuries, you can even blame it on the player development staff, and it looks like Jim Boylen's doing that. He's not taking the blame. So yeah, I mean, this firing's kind of pointless. I do expect the Bulls to fire pretty much their, you know, Jim Boylen and their whole coaching staff, medical staff, and player development staff. So, I mean, this was just bound to happen, but it kind of surprises me that Jim Boylen himself did it right now with nothing really going on. So, I do believe Jim Boylen's just trying to do anything to, you know, save his job, because Jim Boylen has to know in the back of his mind he's not returning to be the Chicago Bulls head coach next year, unless a miracle happens or something like that. So, if any other news about, you know, Jim Boylen or the Chicago Bulls coaching staff or any of that comes out, I'll make sure to keep you guys updated. You know, I thought that was pretty interesting just to talk about and share with you guys. But yeah, on to the second part of today's video is going to be a mailbag. You know, I love doing these, so if you guys want to just keep leaving the questions below, please do that. I'll keep answering them. And the first question in today's mailbag is about Coby White. And the question is, who do you prefer as a backup veteran guard to Coby White? Derrick Rose or Goran Dragic? You know, I of course like Derrick Rose coming back. I mean, he could have been an all-star this year. If Detroit was just over 500 and in the playoffs, Derrick Rose was more than likely going to be an all-star for the East. You know, he should be starting in this league, but, you know, I understand the whole injury thing and, like, resting him every few games. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure Derrick Rose has been averaging, like, 18 and 6 off the bench this year. You know, like I said, the past offseason, I wish the Bulls signed Derrick Rose over Sato. I do understand why, you know, the Bulls are sick of, you know, bringing back old Bulls players. But at the same time, it does surprise me because the Bulls also love doing that. But at the same time, Sato is a decent point guard. He'll be a good veteran point guard in this league. You know, I do believe we could have got Derrick Rose for the same price, or if not cheaper. I do believe a backcourt of Coby White, Derrick Rose, or just Coby White, LaVine, Derrick Rose, LaVine would have been deadly and really hard to stop. Because like I said in my last video, Derrick Rose, he can still score the basketball anytime he wants. He's still super fast, super athletic. I mean, he was an MVP in this league. He's adjusted to the new three-point, you know, era, and he's still putting up 18 points a game. I definitely would take Derrick Rose, but at the same time, Dragic isn't a bad veteran point guard as well. But of course, it all depends on their pricing point. Hopefully next year the Bulls sign Rose and Anthony Davis. I mean, that would be a dream come true. And this mailbag is kind of short because I'm on a time limit. But the next question in today's mailbag is, do you think Daniel Gafford will be a key part of the Bulls? I think so. I think he could be a great player in this league. I mean, I do believe he'll be a key part of the Bulls' future. I mean, Daniel Gafford's super young. He's super athletic. I mean, he was looking like a stud in some games. He reminds me a lot of young Dwight Howard, still learning how to play the game, but he's just blocking shots left and right and dunking on people. If he could just stay out of foul trouble and maybe like work on his mid-range jumper and just be a decent mid-range shooter, he could be a really good player in this league. I mean, he's what, like 7 foot tall? He has all the keys and he has a good body and height for the NBA. But like I said, he just needs to develop a mid-range shot or a three-pointer or maybe like a better hook shot or something. And of course, the foul trouble will go away. You know, he's a rookie, so I don't really hold that against him that much. But he will need to work on that as well. But yeah, I can see him being a really good backup center in this league, or maybe a starting center at one point. But yeah, thank you guys for watching today's video. Keep leaving mailbag questions below. Thank you guys for all the love and support recently. Have a good one.